Hi, this is Kez. I'm back with another wig video and this is part 10. I'll just go over quickly what I'm wearing makeup wise and then we'll get into the wigs. So on my lips, I've got my favourite lipstick by L'Oreal called Candyman, which is a really pale pink. I've just put a little bit of Kiko highlighter pearls on my face today rather than a blush. And the foundation I've used is the Beauty Blender foundation, which I've been testing out, which is actually quite good. I believe mine is a lighter shade, it's 1.50. It's quite a nice natural one, and I've also been trying out, and this is the first day I've used it, so you'll have to keep tuning in to see if it works, the Lacura, which is Aldi brand, light to medium illuminating tan drops. So I've popped a little bit in that foundation, and apparently over a few days it's supposed to give you a bit of a face tan, and considering I'm so pale, I thought that might be quite a good thing. Eye wise, I've got on a couple of palettes. I use the Alien Cosmetics Hauntingly Glamorous palette. It now goes by a different name. They now go by Unearthly Cosmetics, but this is the palette here, and I've used a combination of this blue shade and this one, with that one in the corner, and just a little bit of Beauty Bay white in the corners there. And I've also used my favourite P. Louise Whiteout base, which is that one there. P. Louise also on my brows as well. I've just used the Espresso Brow Balm. It's like a little mascara type wand one. So that's the rundown of today's face, and my mascara is Essence As Usual. Eyeliner, I've put on a 24-hour one that is by Coloursport. It's only a cheap one, but it's one of the best eyeliners I've got, and it doesn't budge all day long. So that's the makeup. Now we'll get into the wigs. I can't believe that we have gotten to part 10 and I'm still going. So today I've got a few wigs to show you. This is a fairly new one that I got. It's a retro style wig. It is a bit of a cosplay wig in the fact it is a little bit shiny. It's not a lace front or anything like that. But I actually love it because I really love retro styles. And so when I saw this one, I just couldn't resist. And I actually wore it out to a party last night. So you've got this lovely flick here. So it flicks under. And because it's synthetic, it actually holds that shape, but you can actually use straighteners on it as well, just to restore the flick a little bit if it does get a little bit tatty. I've kept the fringe long so I can sweep it to one side like that, because that's quite a retro way of wearing it. And the way it is styled, you can actually put a band on it. So it's naturally got the beehive highness, but if you wanted, and this one came with it, you can just add a little band to that if you wanted to. So I really love that wig, and I'm glad I bought it, and I will continue to wear it. I will probably add a little bit of dry shampoo just to knock a little bit of the shine off. Other new wigs that I've got, this came from a friend of mine, and this is Stevie by Amore. It is a monotop wig. It's got a fringe on it, which I don't know whether it was already has a fringe or it's been cut in, I'm not sure. The colour is Auburn Sugar, which is beautiful because it's brown with a lot of highlights in it. Unfortunately, someone previous to my friend has butchered the fringe a little bit under there. I will try and straighten it out a bit, but when you're wearing it, you can't even see it anyway, and it does make the fringe thinner, which I imagine was probably what they were trying to do in the first place. But you can see on wear that you can't actually even tell that that's happened. But it's a beautiful natural wig, and I really love the style. It's just really straight. I love the colours in it, and I think that was really, really good buy. So I'm really happy with that one. The fringe is, you can't see those short bits, I'll just show you that they are there, but the way it's styled, you can't actually tell. And I love that it's got this little blonde streak going through the fringe. That was another one that I was really happy with. And from the same lady, I also got this one. We wasn't sure when she sent it to me whether it was human hair or whether it was synthetic, but I've had a good look at it, and I've got a lot of wigs and I can tell that it actually is human hair. The cap unfortunately is very small, and I think it's a bit more of a topper, but what I'm going to try and do is put a cap inside it to make it that little bit bigger. The circumference is the right size, it just doesn't come down far enough. So I figure if I can put another cap underneath it, I can also perhaps add some wefts if I need to as well, just to fill it out. But I'll just sit it on my head to show you what it's like. Obviously it needs a good straighten because it is human hair, and human hair does have the nature of going everywhere. It does also seem to be a little bit wavy, so its natural state might actually be wavy. I'm not sure. It's quite high as well, so it sits up quite high on the head, almost like a bit of a beehive. But again, as I say, I like styles like that. So I think that's actually a really nice wig. It just needs a bit of a straighten, and I think it does need that slightly bigger cap underneath, because where the cap sits, if you look, it just sits there. So you could do with one that just comes down that little bit more for security, and I think that will be fine, because the actual bit around there fits. It's just the bit going down that seems to be missing. I'm guessing someone designed it to be a topper or turned it into a topper, but even so, it's a beautiful wig, and I really like the colour. It's kind of brown, but it's got a mixture of golden browns in it. It looks like the natural hair colour. I don't think it's been dyed, because if you look at the roots, there's no change of colour there, and it doesn't look like it's been bleached. I've actually had another one turn up today that I got from a different friend. It's literally coming out the bag, so I haven't tried it on. You're seeing it for the first time. It's a wavy wig. Still got all of the bits inside it, so I'm just going to take that off. It's got the little security around it here. The lace hasn't even been cut. It's a really, really nice wig. It's a Bobbi Boss one, which I didn't know when I bought it, but I'm happy about, because we all know that I love Bobbi Boss. It's brown and wavy, and it has a few lighter hints through it, which are kind of like a maple sugary kind of effect to it. Maybe a slight mauvey appearance in some lights, but I'm going to show you this. Oh, look at that, it's beautiful. I really like that. That is stunning. Really pretty wig. My husband says that when I do these videos I use the word stunning a lot. It's because the wigs are stunning. I can't help that. But look at that. It's really, really natural looking. I really love that one. This might have to be today's wear. Yeah, the lace will just need cutting on that, but the hairline is beautiful on it. It's really natural looking, and that lace, although it's slightly darker, I think once it's up there it's going to be practically invisible. This, I believe, is a human and synthetic mix wig. It does have lace all the way around, including the back. I believe I got it online. It's a bit like the Lush Wigs Honey, and because it is human and synthetic mix, it does take a little bit more styling to get it right, because it does flick up quite a lot, which is the nature of having human hair wigs. I can feel the texture, and I would say there's definitely some synthetic in it. I don't think it's pure human, which means if I did decide to dye it, I would have to dye it with a synthetic hair dye as opposed to using human hair dye, because it won't work. But I do like the wig. It's really cute, and it's a really good quality one. Whether I'll keep it that shade though or not, I don't know yet. I'm not sure whether I want to dye it or not. Keshley Head Shop had a mystery wig sale, and so I ordered one mystery coloured lace wig and one mystery coloured natural coloured wig. This was the coloured one that I got. It's got this is one that was called Caribbean Crush. I don't know whether it's been renamed or discontinued, but it's not the same on the website anymore. It's a really nice wig, but it is rather long, so I think I'm going to cut it just to make it more wearable for myself. I'll show you what it looks like pre-cut. It's still got the lace on, but the lace is brilliant on it. You can see it's got all those lovely colours to it, but the length of it comes all the way down to here, which is a bit much for me. So I am going to cut it so that it's more wearable to about here, because I think that will be much easier to manage. So we'll be losing quite a bit of the hair off the ends of that one. So this is the Keshley wig that I've shown you, the Caribbean Crush, now restyled. I've taken all the length off it, and I've also razored through it so that the layers are a bit thinner. So not only are they more of a funky layer, they're a bit more jagged, but you can also see all the colours underneath as well. So rather than it just being so that you could just see the main green, I've made it so that they're all accessible. I've also trimmed all the sides here so that they're more jagged and short, so they look like more realistic hair. And I've trimmed some very smaller bits at the top here to give it a more natural look, so it actually looks more like hair rather than a wig. I'm really pleased with it. I think that's really wearable now because of the length it's at. I can quite happily go around with that on now and not worry about it being too heavy or getting too tangled. But yeah, I hope you've liked seeing the transformation. I thought I would show it so that you could see what I actually do with the wigs as well. But I actually think that it's better this length. It's so much easier to walk around in. And yeah, I love it. The other one I got was this one called Get Twisted. It's natural colours and it's a lovely blonde balayage. It's mostly straight, but the front just has 2 twisted bits. So that is it on before the lace being cut. It is quite long, but I don't mind the length on this one. I think it's quite nice. I would probably just take a little bit off the ends, but I think what I'm going to try and do is, because I really like these twisted bits here, I'm going to get my curlers and see if I can curl the rest of it to match. After a bit of deliberation, I decided that I was going to straighten those curly bits. So I did. I straightened them, which took a couple of minutes with the straighteners. And then I've just cut in a few layers here at the front to give it more of a textured effect. And then I just trimmed it a little bit by taking the very ends off it, just so it was a little bit more manageable. Thickness wise, it's amazing, and quality wise, I can't fault it. It's absolutely beautiful. So I think that was a bargain and I'm really happy with it. I'm going to move on to the human hair ones now. This is one of my favourite human hairs. It was dyed in red and black. It's naturally wavy, which I discovered when I washed it. It's got lace all the way round. Literally the whole cap is lace. It is quite a large cap, but it does have the tighteners. When I got it, the red at the front wasn't very red anymore. It had faded. So I have actually re-dyed the red strip to match so that it suits a bit better because it was faded. But I kept it the same style and colour. When it's straightened and when it's all naturally washed in its natural state with all the waves, it's really beautiful. So I really like wearing that one. Human hair costs a lot more. You do have the disadvantage that it won't sit nicely until you style it. But then you can dye it like human hair and it does look more natural. So there is a lot of advantages and disadvantages to human hair. Some people are creeped out by the fact it's actual hair, but I don't really see that as being a problem. It's not like someone's been scalped for it, they've donated it. These will look a bit messy because human ones don't sit as nicely, as I say, without being styled. And I don't have time to style them all while I show you. This is another one that's lace. Human. It's lace at the front and there's a little bit of lace at the back, although it isn't all the way round. This one is just black. It's got a fairly small cap to it, this one has, but it does fit me. Luckily I don't have a big head, I hope. It has got a natural wave, but when it's brushed it's really nice. I do tend to straighten it. I tend to straighten most of them when I wear them, just because that's naturally how I wear my hair. But sometimes with ones these length you can curl them as well. But you can see, like with human hair, you do get bits that stick up with these kind of wigs. That's just how your own hair would be. Again, you can tame them, you can use products on them just like you can your own hair. I have to admit, while I do find synthetics easier to wear, I do like to have human ones as well. This is another one of my human ones. I'm going to re-dye this one because when I got it, it was purple and it still is purple, but you can see the purple's faded quite a lot now. So I'm going to re-dye that because I do have some purple dye that I can dye it with. The roots are brown. Again, this is literally a full lace cap, so there's lace all the way around the cap from ear to ear and all the way around the back as well. does have a little bit of glue on it from where the previous owners glued it down, but that's not really too much of a problem because you can remove it quite easily. It has been washed, and again, when I got it, it was straight, and as soon as I washed it, it went wavy. So I think the natural state of the hair is also wavy on this one. I wear this one quite a lot because I really like it. And when my hair was really short and I hated it, I would throw this one on so that I could have long hair again, because I missed my long hair. This is actually the length my own hair is now. So if I put this on, people would probably just presume I dyed my hair. But you can see that the part is so natural on it, you just can't detect it's a wig at all. This one I bought for a cosplay. I wanted a wig that was a bit like Lydia Deetz from Beetlejuice. And it does have a very Lydia look to it. It's got the fringe from the end of the film that she has, and it's got the waves as well. Now this, I believe, is naturally wavy because it came like this, and it doesn't look like someone's curled it. I have cut the fringe, and when it's straightened it looks quite nice, so it can be used as a retro wig, but it could also be put together to make the little spikes that she has in her hair as well. That was my original purpose of buying it, but I really like it. It's sort of a dark brown, I would say. It is human. It doesn't actually have any lace on this one, but because it's got the fringe, it doesn't really matter. This is another one of my human ones. This one actually came this shade, so it's a bright red. But again, when it came, it was faded, and a lot of the time people dye them and then they can't really be bothered to keep up the maintenance, and so they get rid of them. This one I re-dyed myself, so it is brighter to the shade it should be. It's also a little bit all over the place. It's really nice when it's straightened properly, but again, it does take a lot of maintenance to get it nice. But it's a good length. It's like a good solid bob. And it is a lace front as well, so it looks quite natural. This is another one that has lace all the way around the front, and then there's a little bit of lace at the back. This is another one of my human hair wigs. This is a lace front, but it's not lace all the way around. It has got a lot of colour on the cap because I dyed it blue, and the blue did go onto the cap, but the cap's on the inside. But the blonde it just didn't suit me. It was like a really, really yellow blonde. And I've always wanted blue hair, but when I had blue hair, it was a nightmare to get out. So I decided that rather than keep dyeing my own hair blue and struggling to fight to get it out, that I would actually just have a dyed wig because it's easier. Same as the other ones, needs maintenance to get it to look nice. Just because human hair is a bit of a nightmare to handle. But it's a really nice shade of blue, and what I love about this one is it's gone darker at the roots with the dye, so it looks naturally like it's rooted even though it isn't, or wasn't meant to be. You do find a lot with natural human hair wigs that the ends are very wispy, so you do find yourself when you're straightening it having to just hold the ends down just to get them to sit smoothly. But again, our own hair is like that. This was a cosplay one that I got. It was already styled. It is human, and it was done in the style of Harley Quinn. I did just dye the roots slightly because Harley Quinn does have slightly darker roots. It had been done with sort of like a hair chalk, but I used a proper dye just to put those back in. It is a full lace front, so it's lace all the way round. And the ponytail bits did need a little bit more dye in them because the dye needed refreshing, so I just bought a pack of dye and re-dyed that. The blonde was fine, it just needed that bit redoing, but it needs restyling. This again, when you wear it, it needs to be styled properly to get the shape right, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like. So the ponytails sit higher up when I've finished, and then you've got the little bits there. I know it doesn't really look great on at the moment because there's no style to it, but you get the idea. This is a brown human hair that I've got. It is a lace front, but it's not lace all the way around. This one's quite a long one. Looks like it might be wavy naturally. because whenever I wash it, it goes a little bit wavy, but not so much as the others. This one seems to stay in control a little bit easier than the others. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's just the type of hair it's made from, but it does seem that a little bit more controllable. And it's a really nice shade of brown. It's kind of like chestnut. Again, it's just easy to throw on and go, and it's the same length as my natural hair. I can actually get away without styling this one as well. So even though it's not perfectly straight, I could put it on and it'd just be fine. This is another one of my human ones. This is a long blonde one. It's again lace front, but not lace all the way around. As you can see when it's on, I mean, the hair is beautiful, but it's a good length wig. Now this is a sleek human hair wig. It's apparently a style Remy Sana, and the colour is F12 16 613, whatever that means. It is a full lace frontal. It doesn't have any at the back, but it goes all the way around ear to ear. This one's a bit of a mix in terms of shades, because I actually played with this one a little, and because it's got higher bits in it, I put a toner on it, and that toner went white in places. So this one definitely needs a bit of a recolour as well. But again, nothing that can't be fixed with a little bit of dye. This one is a brown human hair, and it has got lighter caramel highlights through it. This is again a lace front, but it's not an ear-to-ear lace. This one was strange because it had two caps. It had this cap here, but I've cut this cap back because you could see it with the lace underneath. So I've just cut it myself a little bit further back so that the lace front looked more natural. Because I think with those lighter bits at the front, the cap's shown up a little bit more. It's a nice large cap, which I really like, and it is several colours, but I like that. So I've kept it just as it is. I don't really want to mess with it. What I might do is when the colour fades, because unless it's permanent hair dye, it will eventually fade. What I'll probably do is do these bits darker, do these bits slightly blonder, and then maybe put some red through it as well, just so it's got a real autumn tone to it. But for now, it's absolutely fine the way it is. These ones were really fun cosplay wigs that I got. This is a human one that I got that isn't lace front because it's got a fringe. It's really, really soft in terms of quality to wear. And I cut the fringe into a retro style. Now, when I first cut it, it looked awful because I made an awful job of it. But I redid it and got it to look nice. I just needed to dampen it down. Or a long bob, should I say. It's not really a bob, but you know what I mean. So that's really pretty. It tends to hold its style well. I think that whoever the hair came from must have naturally straight hair because it stays poker straight. This is another one that I've got. This is lace all the way round, but not at the very back. This one is quite a small cap, so it is quite tight to wear. So it is one of the ones that I'm debating whether I will keep or not. Just because that cap is a little bit tight. But it's such a nice quality. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful in terms of it being soft. It's really nice quality hair. And I really like the colour as well. And so I might just persevere with the fact that it's a bit tight on the cap. I have actually took the extenders out of it so that it's not even in them because of how tight it is. It's obviously designed for a petite head. I think if I wore it with a wig band instead of a wig cap, it would be fine. And this one came rainbow coloured from blonde, but the rainbow had all faded. So I got whatever dyes I'd got left lying around and I redid the rainbow in as close a shades as I could. This is kind of my parrot wig. It does need straightening quite a lot, but I'm not convinced that I actually like the rainbow. So what I might do is dye this one because I just think it's a little bit much. And I've got some really nice rainbow synthetics if I want rainbow hair. What I thought I might do with this is leave this chunk here in the front and dye the rest dark. So it's dark with just splashes of colour. I will probably leave the green in the top and dye all this dark underneath so the green stands out, and maybe just leave the fringe of the red and the blue as well, or red and purple, whichever it is. So like the top, bottom, the front half is rainbow and the rest is black. So there is a reworking in the plan for that one. I think that's the human hairs now, but I'm not sure. I can't completely swear to it that that's all of them because I don't know whether it is. They were mohawk wigs because I wanted to try something a bit different. This is what I would look like with an 80s mohawk. I actually really like it. I think it's stupidly crazy. It's brilliant. It's just really sort of punky. It's great for styling because the bits here just stick up all over the place, which I really love. So that was that one. There was a set of two. There's that one and this purple one as well. The purple one's even more crazy because I cut the other one a little bit shorter. I may at some point trim this one down a little bit and just have it sort of more to there. But the other thing I might do with this one is try and style it all into the middle and use it for Hades cosplay, so that I can look like Hades because it's quite a cool blue. So yeah, they are really silly wigs, but they were meant to be silly wigs. This is a Raquel Welch one, sheer indulgence, so it's a mono top wig. It's a lace top, and it says on this one that it's true to life, heat friendly synthetic, so you can actually use heat on it. And it seems to be what's known as a memory cap, which means it's supposed to retain the shape of that you put it into. I didn't even remember having this one, so I can't tell you where I've got it from because I don't know. I imagine it probably came off a group somewhere. When I got this one, it was a little bit, these layers were just all over the place. It reminds me a little bit of Rachel from Friends, but I did actually straighten it a little because I didn't want it quite as poofy as it was. But it's actually a really nice wig, and you can just throw it on. It will stay in style even if you straighten it, and the lace is just completely invisible on it. So you could actually wear this one back if you wanted and it wouldn't be detected as a wig. It's a really pretty one. I do love Raquel Welch wigs, but they are quite expensive, so getting hold of them is quite hard. Apparently it's maximum impact average in honey toast. I still have the tag. I do try and keep the tags where I can so that I know what styles they are. I remember if I've shown you this one, but this was a bell tress one that I got. It's very light blonde and it's got a lace front. It's really stunning, this wig is. I absolutely love it. I love the natural roots on it, and I like that they're brown. I love the lace because it's virtually see-through, and I love the style and the colour. It's probably now one of my favourite wigs, but I got that one fairly recently. I cannot remember the style, but if I find out I will add it on. This one I was really lucky with. It's from the site Switch Up Style. It's Katia, which is one that sells out quite a lot, and the colour is icy grey. I saw it on the website, it was about £70, and I really wanted to get it, but I couldn't afford it at the time. And then one came up cheaper on a buy and sell site. It was brand new, the lace was still on it, so I snapped it up. It's very similar to the one that I've just put on. It is lace front, And I wore this one quite a lot on holiday last year. And I got so many compliments, people saying how much they loved my hair. They didn't even know it was a wig. So I will say that although they are pricey, they are really good quality wigs. So if you get a chance to get one, snap it up. The lace is virtually invisible, but it does blend with my own roots anyway, if I wanted to give it more of a natural hairline. And it's just got that beautiful platinum colour to it with the darker roots. So that's one of my favourites as well. And it just sits in a nice bob. It's a lovely shape. I have 2 switch up style wigs and I'm currently eyeing a third. This was another one. This is a celebrity hair wig. They are known for being quite good quality wigs and they'd usually be really expensive. But I think I managed to pick this one up on eBay. It's got darker roots and then it goes into a blonde wave. So sort of like a balayage. It's got combs all the way around it to keep it secure. And again, it's got a real natural hairline to it. This one has got a few little baby hairs there as well, which makes it look more natural. I have to remember to pull them out of the cap because they get stuck. But that's a beautiful wig. They are really nice wigs. If you can get your hands on them, they're worth getting. I was really lucky with this one. I was really happy with it. As I say, getting them isn't that easy, especially cheap. This is another Wiggies Fashion one. Apparently it was customised. I don't know whether it's customised by the person or they got Wiggies Fashion to customise it, because they do customise wigs. This is another Harley Quinn one with the black and the red, but they've kept the white blonde on the top of this one. It is lace front and it's an ear to ear lace, so it's really nice quality lace, as all of their wigs is. I've left it in the style that I got it in. Obviously you can take it out of the ponytails as well, but this is how it came, so this is how I've left it for the time being, because I did originally get it for cosplaying Harley. But it is quite nice to wear down as well. The good thing about their wigs is that they are nice quality and you can wear them up as well. So I hope you enjoyed the next part of the wig video. There will be more to come, so like and subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.